Welcome to the Soar Pig kitchen. Today we're doing brunch and we're going to make some English muffins. And once we've made them, we're going to, with a muffin, you actually do it in a pan on the stove. And when we've done, you can't beat a good muffin in the morning. And when we've actually done that, what we're then going to do is make a sausage and egg McMuffin and see how it compares to the ones you get from you know where. So without further ado, let's get on. So what I've got in here is about 119 millilitres of milk, and this is an egg. And I'm just going to put that in the milk. I've got here some sugar, about 6 grams. And here I've got yeast. It's really important to incorporate, get that yeast working. 350 grams of strong bread flour. And it needs to be the strong bread flour. If you try and use plain all-purpose flour, the mixture will be too loose. What I've also got is some salt. And I've got here some softened butter. It's not that soft, but it'll do. It'll do. I'm going to make a well in my flour. And this is a no knead. I say no knead. You don't need to knead this one. You do need to put all the ingredients in, but you don't have to knead it, if you know what I mean. And so you just need to pull it together. So you've got all the ingredients become wet and it starts to form a dough. You can see now it's getting more like a bread dough. And what we need to do with this is get that now in a sort of a nice place to just keep warm and start to rise. It's going to need at least an hour. This one's had an hour resting. As you can see, it's grown a little bit in size. And so what we need to do is get some flour on the top. Because what we need to do at this stage is get it out and knock the air out of it. More flour on the top. You can see now it's gone on from that stickiness to actual dough. And we're not really doing much kneading, we're just getting the air out. And what we want to do is get a bit of oil in this bowl, because when it comes out the next time, we've already taken the air out of it, we then want to start forming it. And so what we don't want is to have to struggle getting it out. We want it to be able to just pop straight out. So just to put a bit of olive oil in there. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that dough has got oil all over it. Perfect. Lid back on. That needs another 45 minutes. Okay, right, so our English muffin mixture now has doubled in size. So it's made a lovely dough, and it's nice and light now. We want to keep it that way. So what we need to do is make our muffins and then just cover them up for final proof. So I've got some semolina here in a sprinkler. And if you think of an English muffin, it's got like a crispy bottom where it cooks in the pan. And I always think it's nice to do that on semolina. So you can be gentle with it now. You just want to flatten it out. I'm just going to roll that out before we cut our shapes out. It wants to be about, I would say about ½ inch thick, or 13 mil if you're not as old as me. And so roll it out like that and get your cutter. You want to get as many out as this sheet as you can. Be gentle with them and put them on your semolina, on your baking sheet. Try and keep them in rounds. And then you're going to form this back into another dough. Now I've made quite big muffins here because I like a good muffin in the morning. So we're flattening that one back out so we can get another one from it. It's going to be the muffin of all muffins. Get some more semolina on the top. So we're going to get 5 really attractive ones and 2 ugly buggers. There we go. And they'll be perfect in half an hour to put in our pan and make some English muffins. See you in a bit. Okay, right, so our muffins have had their 2 little sleets. We've rolled them out into muffin shapes. We've got a griddle pan on the stove that's nice and warm, and so we're now going to start putting these little beauties in the pan. So be gentle with them and just pop them in the pan. They need about 5 minutes on each side, and you want the pan on a controllable heat. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. So they need about 4 or 5 minutes on each side. So we'll be back to you when we turn them shortly. For the egg and sausage muffins, what I've done is I've got a couple of sausages, 3 sausages, and I've actually taken the skins off the sausage. They're good sausage. There's no breadcrumb in them. They're all pork shoulder, and they've got a Cumberland mix in them. So what I'm going to do is air fry these because I want them to be very similar to a McDonald's, very similar to one of the main fast food things, but a lot better. So first and foremost, I need to get my air fryer on. So I'll get that starting to warm up. We're also going to do, I'm going to make a cheese round. And I've got some bits from a thing I was doing earlier, so I'm going to just pour them in the pot. I don't want to use a processed cheese slice, partly because I think they're horrible, and I just don't want to eat processed rubbish. So we've put our things in there. Now, what I like to do, and I think I've got some somewhere. Yep. This is a bit of red onion and cheese and onion. Yeah, you can't beat it, can you? So I'm just going to put some of that in there and give this a try. And so I'm going to put that on a low heat at the back of the stove. And I've just put it on a cartouche like that. The nice thing about doing this, it gives you the cheese, it gets it into a shape that you want it for your muffin. And also, actually, cheese has quite a lot of fat in it. So actually, by heating up prior to it going into the muffin, some of the fat drops out of it. And you're left with the tasty bit of cheese. And so it doesn't completely make the muffin too greasy. There's nothing worse than a greasy muffin, if you know what I mean. Okay, so they've had 5 minutes now on that. So they've had 5 minutes now on that side. So I'm just going to turn them over. That's what we want. And we're just going to let them now have another 5 minutes in the sun on that side. And you know that's done because it's gone, like, crispy muffin. So 5 minutes, those muffins are ready. Okay, right, so the muffins, these should be done now. So that. Let's place them on the rack. Let's get the other ones in. Again, be gentle with them. Ooh, that's going to be a big fat boy. And so our muffins are cooking. Our cheese is bubbling. So what we need to do is take that out of the pan. like that. Let me just let that cool down. Okay, so our first 4 muffins are cooling, and we've got our other ones now nearly cooked. We've got our massive muffin, and that's for my wife because she loves a massive muffin in the morning. And then we've got our other ugly one and our normal one. So they're coming off in a minute or two. We've got our pan ready here for our egg, and I've put a egg ring in, which actually helps keep the egg in a ring. So let's get cooking our egg. These are fantastic in the freezer. Look, it's got a lovely crumb on it. I just want to give it a toasting on the inside. Our muffin will be perfect toast. So our griddle can now come off. By the way, these muffins, again, freeze brilliantly. So pop them in the freezer, a minute in the microwave, cut them in half, toast them, great with jam on, great for a breakfast muffin like this, or even just superb with just a bit of butter. And, you know, if you make a batch of them, you can't eat them all at once, so it's nice to have. Oh, yeah. Look at them beauties. They're not far off at all. So we're just waiting for our egg to cook now. Our cheese is set. Let's have a look. I would have thought so. Oh, yeah, no. That's got cheese round. You can see the rubbish on the paper. That's not going in the thing, so you can dry that off in the paper. We don't want that excess fat. So just going to wait for the sausages and eggs, and then we'll serve it up. See you in a minute. Okay, so let's get the sausage out and start building this muffin. Oh yeah. We're just going to take them out and just, as I say, get rid of the excess fat. We're going to have our cheese there on the top. Nice thing with all this rubbish, straight in the bin. No clean up. And then last but not least, we want to just add sausages. Put it over there. Need to get another piece of paper in there because that's what we're going to put our egg on. Again, we don't want a greasy egg. That lovely and round. That sits straight on top of that. Fits perfectly. Then, oh yeah. That is my interpretation of an English muffin with sausage and egg and cheese and onion. Enjoy.